You know, first of all, it's just a beautiful looking finish. Honestly, you know, I've always been a fan of Explorers. You know, they're kind of like, they almost look like you're wielding an axe or something, you know. But this is like the blingy axe. It's very blingy. It's got a lot of, you know, the gold. Just the way it looks, you know, to me. First off, yeah, it makes me excited. And the binding, you know, all the aesthetics. And it just feels good. It's got a nice thin neck. It's not too big and bulky. It's not too heavy, but it's not too light either. It's a perfect weight. These lace pickups, yeah, I'm a recent endorsee of lace. And once I tried them out, they really spoke to me. They really sang. They sounded great. I mean, I'm a fan of the Gibson pickups, the stock pickups, the classic 57s or 57 classics. And more recently, I've been a fan of I've never been a big fan of EMG, but they kind of on certain things they sound really good. But these kind of have a sound in between there without the active battery that goes with EMGs. They still have that bite. They have a real good bite to them. Push pull splits the coil from two to a single coil. I put the volume here because on your traditional Explorer there's 3 knobs and the volume is always in the middle, which always threw me why they put it in the middle. I like to have it close, you know, to my finger so I can roll it off. I don't know, I was trying to be witty and think of something cool. And Golden Axe is an old video game by Sega that I used to play at the arcades when I was younger. And it just kind of came to me. I was like, Golden Axe, because it's an axe. You know, some people call their guitars axes. Looks like you're wielding a big axe. It's golden. It's Golden Axe. I mean, for me, like, the perfect sound is Angus Young, just a little bit more distortion for me. I really like that you know, to be able to clearly hear the notes that you're playing when you're playing more than one, as in a chord, where you can hear them clearly, but you have that grit of distortion. Like, there's a lot of, you know, and we use, all our stuff is analog, you know. I don't really use a lot of digital effects, if any. I'm pretty simple. Tube amps from the mid-80s. I mean, right now I'm playing a Dave Friedman, which is kind of like a copy of an old JMP Marshall head. Celestion speakers, Gibson guitar. It's a pretty simple formula, but it works for us. Well, you know, I listen to all the great, you know, rock gods like, you know, Jimmy Page and Eddie Van Halen and Stevie Ray Vaughan, Hendrix. It was like, but you know, I can never really play like those guys, and that was okay with me. And when I finally like discovered like Greg Ginn from Black Flag and, like, you know, punk rock bands, East Bay Ray, you know, those guys were just going out and doing it. They didn't care that they couldn't play, like, you know, a million miles an hour guitar leads, or they were just making music. And that really inspired me to come out of my bedroom of practicing all the time and just be like, you know what, I'm going to start my own band. So as soon as I got a guitar at 15, I started a band in high school, and just, you know, at first we just started doing cover songs, but that's when I knew that I wanted to be a musician. When, you know, I started listening to the punk rock and the Ramones. I mean, Johnny Ramone was, I mean, he played 3 chords, and it was awesome, and it was cool. People loved it. You know, it was just like, the energy was there. You didn't have to go to school and learn theory and all that stuff. I mean, all that stuff helps for sure, but, you know, I was was nowhere with the patience, or I just didn't, I didn't care. I just knew I wanted to be on a stage playing guitar, so I did it. Yeah, it's not really that easy to answer that one. There's things about being in the studio that I love, and there's things about being on the road that I love. There's not, I wouldn't choose one or the other, that's for sure. Because, I mean, when you're in the studio and you're writing, it's great, and you're creating a record, but I mean, it's very, you're closed up in a little box. Studios usually don't have any windows, and you're just listening back to your music over and over and over. So for me, when we write a record, we hear it about 10,000 times, because you're mixing, you're listening to it, you're playing along to it, writing the riffs, and you've heard it so many times that once it's done, I kind of put it on a shelf and I don't listen to it anymore. I really don't. I don't listen to my own band ever, because you get so jaded by the recording process. So it's good and bad. Being on the road, it's fun to play those songs every night, but there's a time and a place where it's like, okay, I need a break, I need a rest. Practice, practice, practice. I mean, take lessons if you can. When I was a kid, I never took any lessons. I never took any lessons, period. I played with my friends, and that was my lessons, I guess. Just listening to records of my favorite bands and playing along. Just practice as much as you can, and you got to take it in stride. There's a lot of people that want success overnight with whatever they do, and being in a band is not right for you if that's what you want. Being in a band and being successful takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of luck involved too. It's definitely being persistent, but to me it's like it's an art form, but you can't take it too seriously, because like I was just saying in the previous question, when you're working with other people in your band, your feelings are going to get hurt if someone doesn't like your song or your riff, so just write another one.